emotional, the personal and the social development of young people. And there's a wealth of research to make that the case, before LOtC was invented, but certainly substantiated by what's going on around us at the present time. So I'm trying to get you to understand, and all teachers preach, so forgive me for that, but to say, look, no, we're not just concerned here with passing exams, though obviously this helps in that, but we're actually trying to get to educate people along with that at the same time. Well, the last time I was in this building was a few years ago, undertaking some Ofsted training, because I've been an Ofsted inspector as well. And what has Ofsted got to say about LOtC? Well, it made a report in October 2008, and that report said, look, LOtC has got to be an integral part of the curriculum. It contributed significantly to raising standards and improving pupils' personal, social and emotional development, and it contributed to the quality and the depth of student learning. You have some quotations in there, which you can read sort of like. I think memorable activities lead to memorable learning is quite a good sort of catchphrase for all of this. No, it can't do that. And they're fondest of most vivid memories. Even when it wasn't delivered particularly well, Ofsted has concluded that learning outside the classroom still resulted in major learning gains for young people. And not every time can you deliver everything brilliantly. That's fine. Thank you, Ofsted. Will you please put it as a requirement in the school evaluation form to ask people what it is that they've been doing, and then we will actually be able to progress this initiative a little further. What about the barriers? The Select Committee for the Department of Children, Schools and Families, the Department for Education has now got that fancy title, DCSL. Best way of remembering it is curtains and soft furnishings. You'll get it right now as children, schools and families. The Select Committee met last week to hear about learning outside the classroom. Various people from the organisation spoke. Affiliate partners went and spoke. On behalf of the Adventure Activities Industry Advisory Committee, I wrote quite scathingly of the Department for Children, Schools and Families, because quite frankly the initiative is grossly underfunded. It's a national initiative, it's a curriculum initiative, and I think with most businesses you can't suddenly start something from nothing without some startup funding. And sadly, LOtC hasn't had sufficient. That's a barrier. What else have we got? A lack of an excessive red tape. If you take a child out of school at the moment, and it doesn't matter what age group it is, you will have a battery of administration forms to fill in and send to your outdoor visits coordinator, or whatever they happen to be called. And you get a form back saying, have you completed a risk assessment? Have you done X, Y, and Z? Come back to that, if I may, in just a little while. The cost is escalating. If you put people into a bus and you take them 2 miles, it's nearly the same as if you took them 200 miles. It's the time that matters, but the cost is getting to be addictive. There's been the fear of litigation on the part of school teachers, because when something goes wrong, the book is thrown, rightly or wrongly. Usually, we need somewhere in between. There's a lack of confidence on the part of quite a lot of people to now wish to engage in learning outside the classroom. And there's been a lack of support for organising it. So the Council for Learning Outside the Classroom is under no illusions that this is not the easiest of tasks to persuade people to take part in. But what I've already said to you, I hope is an indication of what comes out of it when you do surmount those barriers. There's a manifesto, all available on the website, of course, everything is these days. It was launched in 2006 to ensure all young people experience the world beyond the classroom as an essential part of growing up. There's a range of support for the manifesto, and almost 2,000 organisations have now signed up, and they include providers of such experiences. You've got the National Coal Mining Museum, not very far away from here. They have an LOTC badge. The RSPB does. The Royal Opera House does. Leeds Royal Armouries has one. Because they've seen this as part of their function, to encourage support for people to come into them, of course, but to want to have a proper place in student learning. Education organisations and teaching unions, the NAHT, my own union, ASCL, the Association of School and College Leaders, the NUT, the National Governors Association. Many of those authorities, individuals and schools, are now members of the Council for Learning Outside the Classroom. Come to that in a minute. The General Secretary of the NASUWT, one of the teaching unions, Christine Keats, had this to say: learning outside the classroom can make a significant contribution to the development of children and young people. When it's well organised and responsive, pupils become more engaged and enthusiastic learners, giving teachers another resource to help the curriculum to live. I mentioned CLOTC, the Council for Learning Outside the Classroom. This is something we can all join. It sounds grand title, the Council for, but it's everybody who's supporting the aims and the objectives. And it's been gathering pace since the manifesto was launched. It was launched by the Secretary of State, Ed Balls, who of course is the MP from not very far away from here at the moment, MP from Ogden. And it states that every child should experience the world beyond the classroom as an essential part of learning and development, whatever their age, whatever their ability, and whatever their circumstances. So there's no barrier in terms of age, there's no barrier in terms of ability, and there shouldn't be a barrier in terms of circumstance. One of the key things coming out of the Manifesto Partnership was the clear message that the Manifesto itself isn't enough, and that partners wanted a national voice to drive forward the LOTC agenda. And that's where the Council has come in. And the DCSF, along with the National Association of Governors and Managers, decided that they would set up a council, an independent council, to take on the mantle for LOTC. And this happened in April of last year. So, as I say to you, the initiative is not that old. And it certainly would like your support. There are 8 board members only. I happen to be one of them, elected at the AGM of the LOTC, which was held in the Royal Armouries of Leeds on the 3rd of December last year. So, what does it do? What's it got responsibility for? And there they all are. And I don't intend going through those. You can read this just as much as I can. But communicate with stakeholders. Improve the quality of learning through quality badges. Come to that in just a little while. Undertake research. Leading voice for all of this. And that's one of the reasons, of course, we're here, to try to get you to be interested in this and take it forward along with your own initiatives. So the Council, everybody, is acting as a leading voice for LOTC, challenging policy and practices, raising the profile and promoting the benefits, and driving up the quality of the provision. And the undertaking of all of this is in partnership with a wide range of stakeholders. And since we opened our doors to members in October 2009, there are 250 individuals, or were then. As I say, there are 2,000 schools and other organisations, and they've joined in order to demonstrate their commitment to providing high-quality learning experiences and to throw their